we might well be in a relationship feel that we're not getting enough attention for whatever reason, and that might be the ego that speaks up. But we keep having to come home to ourselves, and the more that we take responsibility for the action that has occurred in our reality with that other person, we can change our vibration from that. And if you come from love, and really are love, and egoless love, so unconditional love, essence, what you put out is what you get back, so it will be reflected back.
It's beautiful. So you also spoke briefly of writing, and most of us do have books out. Do you have something you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'm writing all the time. I mean, I write for my blog, and I write. I've got a number of books on the go, and I'm not going to say anything. And in the understanding that if you do start talking about it enough, almost the unconscious believes that it's already manifested, it's already there, which it has in my own reality, but it hasn't quite yet physically. So, but it's much along the lines of this subject. And,
wonderful. It's along the Daniel Hill line. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's part of my journey for that to manifest.
Yeah.
I've been pregnant with it for far too long. It needs to pop out.
So were you raised in a spiritual zone, or were you in a religious? Like all of us, we're religious and then left those four walls.
I was brought up Anglican Christian with my parents. You know, I went to Sunday school for a little bit, and I think we always had a Bible at home, but we weren't. I think my parents were sort of. I remember going into hospital once, and my mum put on the religion Church of England, and I went, "What's that?" Mm-hmm. And she said, "Well, that's what we are we?" I didn't know that. But I was when I was young, much younger. I used to. I think I used to talk to God of what God was, but my total concept of what God is now is not a God of that belongs to any religion. And I'd always almost say I speak to the universe, because I much prefer using the word universe or life or even love as opposed to the word God.
Well, those are beautiful synonyms.
Right. God gets us into a lot of problems when we start saying what God wants and what. But if we start saying what the universe is telling me that this is that I should take this action. Love is telling me I should take this action. Life is telling me I should take this action. There's a difference in saying God is telling me I need to take this action. Now, if that works for you, everything's in its own time and place. But I started to understand. This is my own awareness. That God didn't have an ego. God didn't have an agenda. In the same way as that life didn't have an agenda, really. It was just unfolding. It was like a constant unfolding of consciousness. And that I was the only one truly in charge of my reality. This is the only part of the universe that I have control over. This thing, this entity, this thing here. And I have been given that, and it's for me to look after that, and for me to use that in the best way possible. But I believe that life, the universe, all that is, has purposefully given me these tools, this awareness, this knowledge, and I'm using that in the best way possible. And I think that helping people overcome their limitations and their ego tendencies will create a better world and will create more, without speaking in a place where it becomes I'm talking about a utopia. But if more people overcame their ego and they came out of fear and into love, because that's the opposite tendency, you would have a better world. Look how much money would be saved in defense. And people, we know that a great deal of illness, dis-ease, which is unease. How much money's made by the pharmaceutical industry. So
right.
you've got savings everywhere. If Tesla hadn't been prohibited from making free energy, we'd all be, driving cars on water, and we wouldn't be paying gas and electric and goodness knows what. And that's all ego. That's all part of,
right.
but it's part of our evolution, and it's only about coming home to your personal responsibility of, am I going to continue to carry on in this won't get the agenda egoic life, or am I going to truly get in touch with why I'm really here and why what's this all about? You know,
Right.
Why am I here? Do I have purpose? And yes, I believe you do, and I believe that is to create a better world.
That's beautiful. And I love that, because if we do come from love, then we are creating a better place.
Absolutely, you can't not. Yeah, what you put out is what you get back, and if you create that change, I don't know what I think it's the 1% square root of the population to create change. And also what I found is that a lot of people who come to an awakening that, oh my goodness, I've been trapped in this egoic agenda and this hypnosis of fear, and really it's all about love, it's all about evolving and everything, and then what can happen is that they come to an awakening, and then they paradoxically go into ego about other people's ego. So it will be, well, we've got to stop this, we've got to stop that, we've got to stop together, and we need to create a better world, because, and while they're doing it, they're creating anger within themselves and actually adding fear to the fear already. And I don't necessarily believe in that you just sit there and meditate and be with it all. If that's what your heart says that you should do, then do so. But whatever action that you're taking, do it with love and compassion, and do it with peace, and do it with the awareness of that the outcome that you wish to experience has already occurred. So if you are wishing for all human beings to transcend and come to a sense of awakening, do it from that place as if it's already happened.
That's
because
beautiful.
if you do, you are going to be putting out so much less fear into the world. You can still create change from love and from peace. And many of the leaders and awakened teachers and facilitators of all different types of movements have done that, whether it's Gandhi or is it Aung San Lee in Burma, and she's created change in there through peace and love.
And understanding what it is, not just manifesting, or not just listening and spitting back out to the world exactly what you hear, but when you take it in and understand it and then share it with the world, it becomes you, it becomes real, it becomes true. There are so many people who just hear the message and talk like puppets. And when you actually embrace the concept that this is, if you love it and you embrace it, you don't just listen to it a million times to mimic someone else. You have to let it go through your heart and out that way. That's just a message that's extremely important. And we're out of time, but I would love to have you back to talk about NLP.
I'd love to come back.
And I also believe that we can pick up from where we're talking about our true intention of creating completeness within ourselves, so that we can actually be who we are, love, and not just spouting words from someone else. So thank you, Daniel Hill, for joining us from the UK and the USA together. We brought to you this show, and we will get together again and do this again. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mia.
We'll see you next time. Bye.